matter of fact, got a live update from the hearing yesterday. No other. Ours was the only one. And at that point, Rizal told me that they were, in fact, stopping people from recording.
Right.
And he and I went through a conversation back and forth, and I said, well, that's peculiar.
Yeah.
That's a city building.
Yeah.
That's a
public meeting.
A public meeting.
Public building.
A public building.
You cannot keep anybody from recording.
And the argument that Rizal told me was the fact that their argument was that they wanted it to because they thought it was like a trial. No, I don't give a damn what they thought it was like.
They're not judges.
They're not judges.
Yeah.
They are city-appointed officials.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Russ now to see if he can call in.
Okay.
Real quick.
And they, and I told Rizal then, I said, hopefully there are some enterprising attorneys, and he had said that he had been in contact with the ACLU. And I said yesterday, I said, hopefully there are some enterprising attorneys that will immediately go to the courts and seek an injunction immediately. Because in cases like that, you can immediately get judges to hear those cases.
Right.
Okay? Unbeknownst to me, apparently that happened. But here's the thing that really boggled my mind, and this is why I went in on the local news media. I have been saying from day one, since I moved back to this city, that Little Rock has no media. The media here is, they just want to be friends with everybody. You know, when you're in the media, look, I've been in this business for 35 years. When you're in the media, you ain't gonna have a lot of friends, at least public officials.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
if you're doing a good job.
If you're doing a good job, case in point, that's why it's tough to get them to come on this show. Okay? When you're doing a good job, most people are not gonna want to talk to you because they know that you're not gonna put up with any BS. But if you notice how public officials in this state, in this city, they're on the media all the time. And they're never asked tough questions. Never. So apparently yesterday, it was Channel 7, KATV, who went to court late yesterday afternoon or before lunch to demand that the hearing be public. And it didn't take long because after lunch, guess what happened? They allowed the public to record the meeting. Now, you might say, well, you need to applaud Channel 7. No, I don't. Because you know what? Channel 7 is owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. Now, that may not mean anything to you, but Sinclair Broadcasting is a right-wing company that has bought up quite a few stations across this country. And they push a right-wing message and agenda. So I was a little stunned that Sinclair Broadcasting, KATV, actually went out and sought that injunction. So maybe we're having a turning of the worm. I doubt it. Hopefully. So my question is, and talking about this, according to Rizal Aaron, and I trust Rizal on his word, this particular edict from about the civil service hearing was issued last week. It wasn't issued yesterday.
Right.
It wasn't issued the day before.
Right.
It was issued, I believe he said, last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Okay? So where were the enterprising journalists and conglomerate newspapers and television stations when they heard about this particular edict? Or did you even know? Because I'm beginning to wonder, they didn't even know it. You see what I'm saying? Because they issued this rule last week that you couldn't record in the civil service hearing. Now, if you know anything about politics, if you know anything about sunshine laws, look, the first thing I said yesterday when Rizal told me that, I said, that's wrong. They can't do that.
Yeah.
You see? So why didn't the media last Wednesday, when this ruling came down, immediately go to court?
I think they were under the impression that they meant, they didn't mean they didn't mean like reporters. They thought they meant like Russ and Ian and all those cats. Even Rizzo, guys like that could record. I don't think they thought they were talking about the media. That's my honest.
What I would like to do is go. I don't know if I can find it. I'd like to see the statement from the Civil Service Commission.
Yeah.
What they said.
Yeah, I think
because if they said no recording, dude, I don't care if you're the media or not. You can't record. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I understood it to be. But even still, even if it just meant the media should have been enterprising enough to understand that, wait a minute, that's against all the open records laws.
I don't think the media thought that was actually for them, and so therefore
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, to some degree it does for them because they didn't think that applied to them. So if it didn't apply to them, why would they waste time fighting it?
But again, it's against the First Amendment.
I understand.
Okay,
but again, it didn't apply to them. So they thought.
Well, but again, I understand what you're saying. But my point is this: that anything against the First Amendment, the media ought to be fighting it because that's what that industry is built upon, is the First Amendment. So to arbitrarily think that, oh, well, we're the media, that doesn't apply to us.
Yeah.
No, you have to fight it at every step. You can't think that, oh, well, that applies. And then of course, the law in the state of Arkansas is open records. Is some people back in the day called it sunshine laws. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You should have, and in fact, every media outlet, the Democrat Gazette, KATV, KARK, KTHV, every one of them should have joined in that suit, but they didn't.
No, Dave, no need to.
Okay, so again, that goes back to what I'm saying about the 855-525-5683. So that 855-525-5683. So what that tells me is what I said previously, is that the media in this city, for lack of a better word, is definitely feckless. It has no meaning whatsoever.
Indefensive. The radio station, the news people. I don't think that they thought that injunction was, or that demand, or that request was toward them. So therefore, they had no reason to fight it until they got there, and they would turn around by the police and say, "No cameras are allowed."
So they just got a rude awakening.
They did.
They just got a rude awakening.
They did.
And every media outlet in this city, from this point on, let that be a lesson to you. Okay?
I don't think so, Dave. I know what you're saying, but I don't think so.
Well, you're saying it may not be?
No.
Well, because of their what they stand for.
Well,
why do you say no?
Because, like you said, though, this thing was issued in advance, enough time that if they wanted to take issue with it, they could have. But I think Russ will give us a better understanding. I think somebody actually had to go in and be denied access first before they could do the injunction. I'm not for sure about that.
No.
I don't know. Y'all better
unless the law works different in Arkansas than it does in other states. Mm-hmm. The point when you said there is no recording in a public building, at that point you are violating the law.
In the public meeting,
yeah, exactly. At that point you are violating the law. So at that point the local media should have went and said, hey, this is not right. We're going to go to court on this. They didn't.
But that was troubling. I must admit that was troubling. The thing that troubled me most is the attorney. Not only the attorney, but just Hayward Finks. He's got a perfect name, Fink. Hayward Finks.
Yeah, we're gonna boy. When I read that, I said, "Oh my God!" We're gonna talk about that here in just a moment. So we're expecting a call from Russ.
Yeah, Russ should be calling in.
Okay. So Russ, go ahead and give us a call and let's get it, because I would like to see the wording. I don't know if Russ has it or not.
I'm sure.
But I would like to see the wording of that that document where they said that you can't record.
Yeah, you can't come in a public meeting.
Because when you say, and all I need is 3 words, can't, no, 2 words. Well, that's a contraction.
But even better though, Russ told me something last night that was really alarming. So all the police officers came in the back door. They let all the police officers come in the back door, so that when people came in to sit down, there were no seats. All these police officers dressed in plain clothes, mind you, came in. There was some in uniform, dressed in plain clothes, came in and tried to take up all the seats so nobody else could sit down. Majority white officers.
Lord have mercy. Boy, we got a lot to talk about today. Okay.
It's about to go down.
So those of you that are in the community that don't understand what this city is doing, y'all better wake up. Okay? And it's problematic. It's even more problematic when I think about Chief Finks or Assistant Chief Finks. Because we understand that part of the reason that Rozelle Aaron and his crew was arrested was because of Chief Finks.
No, not the black dude. You mean Wayne Bewley didn't arrest him. Alice Falk didn't arrest him.
You know.
But Hayward Fink arrested him. The black man.
Yeah, he's the one that told him to go and arrest him.
The black man. Well, doggy.
The who?
Well, doggy, the black man.
The black man. Okay? And yesterday, after reading some of the accounts of the hearing itself, it was Chief Finks who threw the mayor under the bus.
Flat under.
I mean, flat threw him under the bus. No, not only drove over him, Robert, he drove over him and then backed up, put it in neutral and burned rubber on him, and then drove off and then backed over him again.
Yeah, good job, Fink.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Get it in, player.
So, and we're going to talk about that here because I thought that was, oh my God. And then I'm reading more where it was Chief Finks who was arguing that he felt like Charles Starks didn't deserve to be fired.
Yeah.
The black man.
Yeah. But you gotta remember, this is the same guy.
Woo,
This
Lord.
same guy who got police officer of the year by arresting black folks. You gotta remember that though.
Whew.
You got police officer of the year by arresting black folks.
Man, I know the mayor can't do it without probable cause.
It's an at-will state. He can fire whoever he
But,
wants to.
well, homeboy needs to be out of there. Because see, here's the other.
This is a right to work.
Well, that's right.
You
So,
can fire whoever you want
so,
to.
and here's the other dynamic that comes into play there. Chief Finks is upset at the mayor because Assistant Chief Finks didn't get that chief job.
That chief job. Yeah, that could be it.
He wanted that job.
That could be it.
He wanted that
I'll
job.
tell you what's really interesting. I want everybody to hear me. I think it's important that everybody hear me right now. I don't know how you feel about the police. I don't really like the police either. But the one thing I hate more than anything is when people try to belittle a black man. So Newcomb told the chief, I have to read the quote back to get it verbatim, to get it correct. But essentially he said he'll ask some other officers because chief don't seem to know nothing. That's essentially what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's problematic for me here is that this is the police, this is the union's lawyer, the police union's lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So he feels these cats feel that they can do whatever, man.
I know.
They feel they got carte blanche to do whatever they want to, whenever they want to, however they want to.
So let's clarify what you just said. So the FOP's lawyer said that the current police chief don't know Jack.
Yeah.
Now
And he'll ask another officer who has more experience. Said chief didn't have no experience. He asked him some question, and I think the question was kind of like what you think, right? He's asking you to think and go into somebody else's head and answer a question, and essentially he couldn't answer it for him because he was asking the question, and the way he prefaced the question, it was like he was asking him to think like Starks was thinking, right? How can you say how that man was thinking? He don't know how that man was thinking. It's like me asking you to think I was thinking last Tuesday at 4 o'clock. How you gonna know, right? So that's essentially what it was all about.
So it sounded like to me the accounts that I saw, and I'll be honest, I was doing the show so I couldn't attend the hearing, but the accounts that I saw there were 3 agendas afloat. This is just my interpretation. First, the obvious agenda is to try to get Starks his job back.
Right.
That's the
Civil
obvious.
Service Commission not going to court.
Okay. That's the obvious one. But the second one was to demean the mayor The third one was to demean the new police chief. Now, again, I'm a little confused that city employees, and look, you have a right to the First Amendment just like anyone else. But I'm a little confused how the police department, and I'm hoping, and you know, it's funny because as I thought about it and I was reading the accounts, I was thinking about Mayor Frank Scott.
Okay.
And I was thinking about some questions that I'm going to ask him the next time he appears on the show because he's committed to come on the show once a month.
Oh, okay.
One of the questions that I asked him, or we talked about, the people of Little Rock don't trust the police.
Right.
Okay? One of the questions I'm going to ask him this next time around, how do you feel about the police now? Now, I know he's going to give me a political answer.
No need to ask him that. I mean, he's going to give you the same answer. He can't get
You know,
one any different.
well, I understand, but I have to ask that question because clearly there's an agenda to undermine his authority and anyone that he picks. And it's sad. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with us if you want to call the show. We got a call on the line. I believe this is Russ Raycop. Russ, is that you?
That's David.
That's my sexy voice. Russ, you ought to recognize it.
That's funny. That's funny. Tell us, give us some of that, man. Cause hold on, before you do that, man, give us some of these emails with Chief Keith, man.
Footage and stuff, but man, all you got to do is look at the picture that they had of him and on his face and the comments of his with that Shyster Newcomb and you know the pressure is there. Then you got one of your chief assistant chiefs throwing you under the bus with the mayor. That can't make you feel good. And but some of these emails, he I guess he's given me a name now, like I've done some of the police officers, that he's calling me Musty Rusty.
Oh, man.
Are you serious?
Musty Rusty. He didn't put a lot of effort into that one, did he?
But I hide behind the keyboard. Well, Chief Keith, you need to go on YouTube and Google or Google Russ Raycop, and you'll see videos that I've posted of things that I've said at the board meeting. And what you see with me is what you get. And he basically called me out and said that I was afraid to tell him stuff in person. And I emailed back that I would tell him the same thing I told the mayor. I'm not ashamed to say anything to anybody anywhere. And if anybody that knows me or has ever been around me will know that.
Russ, I'm waiting for you to slip and say, I'm a free black man. I'm waiting for you to do that, man. I'm waiting for you to say that somewhere. Because, man, that's what you sound like. I'm a free black man.
Secrets out there. My whole life story is available for people to see.
Right.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I don't know what world the chief is in, but people, when they know what I think and they see it, they can see it on Facebook, they can see it on Twitter, they can see it on the blogs, they see it when I live stream things.
Right.
It's all out there, and that's me. And
okay.
So anyway, thank
you
for letting me vent on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Russ. Get it off your chest, bro.
Woo-saw! Woo-saw!
Hey, got a couple of quick questions real quick. I know Dan's got some too. But the first question is, when did they issue the ban? How long did they issue the ban?
That was on Tuesday. And I guess they had some kind of meeting in
Now, Russ, was that this past Tuesday or last Tuesday? Because I thought that someone...
It popped in the newspaper on Wednesday, and somebody got in touch with me, and man, he said, "You see the stuff about you in the paper?" And I go, "Man, what have I done?" And so they sent me a link to the article, and I looked at it, and I said, "Oh, look at that." And I guess they got upset when we had the civil service hearing for my friend Sergeant Willie Davis, that does the OK program, when he stood up to wrongdoing at the training academy and was a whistleblower and got sanctioned for that.
Right.
And because I've only been to 2 civil service hearings in my whole life, one there for his, and I went for a black female officer that was being railroaded and spoke up for her. And that was maybe 2 years ago. But so they came up with that Wednesday, and I looked at it, and it was clear to me on the face of it, it violated not only constitutional rights of individuals that are involved in the media or just the public, but it also violated our Freedom of Information Act.
Hey, Russ, before you go on, do you have a copy of that ruling or whatever they call it, that edict? Because
I've sent requests for that and any emails that they had about that. I think either the Arkansas Times or the newspaper might have posted a link to it. But I haven't actually seen the documents. I've just heard what they've talked about that's been reported in the news.
So, based on what I read, Russ, is that they basically issued this no recording thing because of you, man. That's what I read.
Lindsay Miller with the Times put that out yesterday, and it even went beyond reporting. They didn't want anybody to tweet out what was going on in the room. They really didn't want anybody to make notes. And what was amazing to me is the city attorney Hogan said that they were going to ban the news media. Well, you can't do that in an open meeting. They think that the Civil Service Commission is a judicial body. It's not.
They're not.
It's an administrative body. Mm-hmm. No one on there is a judge, is a duly elected judge that can hear a hearing. And there is a big difference between any kind of administrative hearing and a judicial hearing. In fact, most of the time you can't use documents that have been generated in an administrative hearing in a court of law.
Right.
They're inadmissible.
So
they're not they're not binding.
So Russ, what the hell are they talking about then? What the hell are they talking about, Russ?
Yeah, and so that was a concern, and I'll give you a little background. People don't know what all happens in activists and bloggers' lives. I know you guys know, but our public out there doesn't know. So when all this is going on, I'm having conversations with attorney bloggers, other attorneys that are involved in civil rights issues, and we get Professor Steinbuch involved. And he's a noted law professor here in the state. He's one of the authors of the treaty that's in its 6th edition now about the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act. And that's a book that judges and lawyers treat like it's a scripture.
The Holy Grail.
Yes. And he got involved and wrote a letter to me that basically was an outline for a complaint. And initially I was going to file an injunction to try to stop it. Didn't get done in time, and then I thought, well, I'll do it as an appeal. I'll go to the meeting, and then I'll record, I'll live stream, and then when I get kicked out, I'll have that recorded, and that'll be one of my exhibits.
Right.
And that's what I did. I wasn't the first one kicked out. I had some other matters I had to take care of early in the morning. I didn't get there till about 10, but by the time I got there, they had already kicked out Ian and Odell and Michael Lee for recording.
So Russ, let me tell you something that someone told me yesterday, that and this is on good authority, that the police were sitting with their phones. They were actually on a group chat, and when you showed up, it was sent out in that group chat that there you were. So they were lying in wait for you.
I tell you, on our blogs, we have the capability to track down the IP address of individuals that look at it. Sometimes it even shows us their names. And some of our most faithful readers and followers are at the Little Rock Police Department and at Little Rock City Hall. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday we had had a little chat on Facebook about something, and I said, yeah, that's Little Mike Ford. And when they finally let us into the room, about 4 hours after they lifted the ban, I said, hey, Mike, I met him coming out, and he said, hey, little Russ. And so I don't know if they think that's intimidating or what, but let me tell you, I got degrees in psychology, and I'm a passive-aggressive sucker, and I'll dig in on people. All that tells me is that you're looking at my stuff, and it's kind of bothering you because you're parroting it back.
Yeah.
The best way to let somebody not know that something bothers you, you ignore it. You don't bring it up or you don't refer to it. But the fact that they do that, and that's what Keith has been doing all day in these emails. He's burned himself out. And what gets me is, people say, well, you're untruthful, talking to me. I don't know. I've never been sued for defamation. And everything that I do, I use documents that I obtained for the Freedom of Information Act. And about Little Rock Police, all my documents come from them. So if I'm untruthful reporting on what LRPD is doing, then that falls back on the department because it's their records I'm getting, and I put it out there for everybody to see. I make comments.
Russ, I need you to say it again, Russ, because the city's always doing this crap. I need you to say what you just said again. The documents we get are from who?
From the city.
Hold on, Russ. We get those documents by what?
By the Freedom of Information Act.
And they send them to who?
They send them to us.
And then they call us a lie when we post this stuff. They say we lie. How can we lie with your own documents? How can you lie with that?
This is what I told him and some stuff. Am I lying that 80% of the white officers refuse to live in the town in the city that they work because of schools and crime? Now, I didn't pull that out of my backside. That was stated by the Fraternal Order of Police President, John Gilbert, when he was president, Gilchrist, and that was also mentioned by our former police chief, Kenton Tremar Butler.
Yeah, not only that, the fire department, the union of the head of the fire department, I can't even think of his name now. Jesus. But he was, you know what I'm talking about. He was the president at the time. He said the same thing. They said the same thing. They didn't want to live in Lure because there's too much crime and they had terrible schools. That's what they said.
Yeah.
But you're the police.
And again, they don't like being called mercenary officers. And like we've spoken about this, that's a term I didn't like to use.
Richard Moorhead, that's the police, the fire union. Richard Moorhead. I'm sorry.
But when you're paid to come in and control something or police something or enforce laws or whatever, and you're not from that area, you're a mercenary. And I feel pretty certain that Judge Griffin, Wendell Griffin, uses that term, and he's a learned man. I mean, he's a pastor, he's a judge, he's a lawyer. I feel pretty comfortable if the judge can say they're mercenaries, I can say they're mercenaries.
Yeah, they are what they are.
I want to be a mercenary to buy the gods moved into Little Rock.
Excellent point. We're talking to Russ Raycop. I don't know what I need to call it. What title would you?
Blogger, activist.
Blogger, activist, hellraiser. You know it. Let me ask you, hey, Russ. Let me ask you a question because it seems to me, and as many people have known me since I've been here, and I've been talking about this media in this city, that we don't have a legitimate media source. It seems to me that it should not, and I know eventually it was KATV from what the reports were that went to court. But hang on, let me ask the question. Why didn't other media outlets, Democrat Gazette, Channel 11, Channel 4, and all of them, the Arkansas Times, all of them join under one accord, one umbrella, and go to a judge Tuesday evening prior to the hearing even started and saying, hey, this is against the law, it is against the city law, state law, it needs to be stopped. Because apparently once KATV went to the courts, it was stopped. Why didn't they join together previously?
Let me give you two answers here. The first one is the newspaper, they're broke. they can't afford to publish a paper, much less hire an attorney. At one time, they did go after stuff like this, but those days are gone. And to be honest, I was very surprised that it was Channel 7 that contacted my friend Matt Campbell, who's an attorney and publishes the Blue Hawk Report. They contacted him and said that they were trying to clear through corporate, but could they engage his services to file an injunction to get the ban lifted? And he said, yeah, I'll start to work on it. And what he did was he did a draft and he sent it to the individuals at the powers that be at the local Sinclair station, KETV. Now it's important that Sinclair, that's a big Trump station.
Yeah.
This is sort of we must be in the end times. But anyway, so he gets a draft done, sends it to them to look at, and they send it to. And there have already been discussions between the mayor and Tom Carpenter, the city attorney. And part of those because of stuff that calls that I had with them and stuff we'd sent and things that were happening and going on behind the scenes. And so they get this email that Channel 7's doing it, and that has them running scared. And so it's never filed. They asked them to hold off and not file that until 2 o'clock because they're trying to work it out. So and I think it was about 11 when Matt sent that to him. I might have to look back at the text we had going between us. But they got that, he got it sent, and they said at 2 o'clock. And then they'd asked for an additional time and said, can we have it to 2:30? And then that's when they wasn't 30 minutes later than that, I think that Carpenter walked into the meeting and said, hey, you got to shut this down, and remove this ban. And that's what they did. But then it was another 3 hours before they took a break. They wouldn't let anybody go in with cameras until they took an official break, and that happened about 5:40. And then before they could even come back, Attorney Newcomb had slipped on the stairs, and they postponed the rest of the hearing.
He faked a slip?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was fake, but they, the fire marshals, they were there, and they went out to their truck and came back in with all their medical bags, and they had his arm in a sling and had him sitting in a chair.
Now, Russ, hold on, Russ. Let's discuss one thing, because I got to discuss BS. I got to discuss this, Russ, and I got to have you discuss this. Now, I want to make a statement. There are 600 police officers downtown. Downtown, Russ, right? Okay, let's not say 600, Russ. There's 80.
500. There's around 540, I think, police officers
on the force.
On the payroll.
Okay, but hold on, Russ. In this meeting downtown, there is, let's just say for argument's sake, you got 100 seats in that room. Let's say there are
there's 84 seats.
84 seats. Okay, so let's say Russ, there are 50 police officers downtown in plain clothes. Okay? And you're telling me that somebody downtown, some guy just decided to come downtown and pop off one. Russ, did you hear what I said? Some guy just decided to come downtown
when that all went on
and pop off one.
They went running towards the harp, and they could smell the gunpowder.
Really? Toward the harp?
Yep.
Wow. Now, Russ, let me ask you a question, Russ. Can you remind me again how many police officers were there again?
At the meeting?
Yeah, at the meeting.
Well, the uniforms, when you had, I think there were maybe 3 or 4 inside, 3 at the door. You had maybe 6 or 7 down in the lobby when you come in the front lobby. I don't know how many were down at the back entrance. And then, of course, you had some that were in there to support the killer cop.
Right.
But let me tell you something that was really, that I found really troublesome. The public had to come into the front door, okay?
Right.
And they illegally were forced to provide an ID and have their picture taken.
I'm glad you brought that up. I got a question about that, but go ahead. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, just keep your finger crossed. And so they had to go in and do that. The people that were supporting Starks, which were some off-duty police officers, some members of the highwaymen, that racist terrorist group from around Russellville.
Really? They got to come in the back door?
They came in the back door. They didn't have to and they don't have one of those machines down there, because I've gone in the back door sometimes at City Hall, and they maybe come up to the front and do that during the week, okay? Not during a board meeting or a commission meeting. And they allow them to go up and take up just about every seat in the board. Well, they call it a courtroom, but it's not a courtroom, it's the boardroom. That's its official name. And so when the people came in, like the Blackshire Lees and the other ones, the first ones in, and my brother Ian, there were only a few seats available.
Yeah, they had packed it out, right?
They had packed it out.
All right, so Russ, okay, so let me ask you a quick question. Quickly, about the highway people, and this is not a question. Do we know who those people were? Because that's something we need to address as a city. Okay. Okay. All right. So we okay. So that's disturbing to me, that the Little Rock Police Department, because when this hearing was first announced a few weeks ago, and we knew that the highwaymen was going to come and show support for Charles Starks, I said on this show that the mayor, the police department, the chief of police, and the FOP should issue a statement telling the highwaymen not to come to Little Rock. And you just saying that, I'm going to tell you, that just ticked me off. You just said that and that's my point.
Well, they probably raised.
Okay, but the other thing that I want to talk about is when people were going into the meeting. I don't know of any public meeting that I've ever attended in the multiple cities that I've lived in where I've had to actually show my ID and have it scanned. Okay? So my question is, as a former computer technician, as well as a First Amendment activist, what happened to those scans of those pictures of driver's license?
The Freedom of Information request for all that information yesterday.
So you haven't got it back yet?
No, it'll take them. God knows how.
Okay.
So
Right.
Professor Stodgy, when he had gone in first, he and attorney Chris Corbett had gone in together earlier when the meeting was, they were able to get in. And he had sent an email saying, hey, they're scanning for your stuff, that's illegal, and gave me an attorney general opinion that outlined that, like a 3 or 4 page opinion that went through the whole thing. And now when I first went in, I got one of those. And then when I found out that they told me and I kept it because I was keeping it as evidence for my complaint, that they made me do this in a public meeting because you guys have been down there, the board meetings and the planning commission meetings. You don't have to check in. You go through the metal detector, but they don't make you show your ID or take a picture.
Right.
It's because they can't. That's illegal. And so when I went back, I didn't do that. I told them, they asked for my driver's license. I said, "Oh, not going to give it to you. Here's the attorney general's opinion." And of course, those red cops just kind of stood there, and they went away, came back, and said, "Well, you have to give a name." And so I said, "I have to give a name?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so I said, "Okay." And so I typed in a colorful name, and they gave that to me. And everybody can go to my Facebook page or the Bad Government BGA Twitter page, and you'll see the name that I put on there.
Yeah.
And that just shows you how ineffective this security system is, because they're going to say, "Oh, well, this is to protect everybody." Well, if it's a real security system, they should have kicked my sorry butt out when I put that name
Right.
on there.
Right.
But not only that,
The whole afternoon.
And nobody said a word.
Nobody said anything. And then when they look at it, they laugh. Even the city attorney got a good chuckle at it. So it's all smoke and mirrors, dog and pony.
well, what disturbs me, Russ, that clearly the police department is making this up as they go. And it even disturbs me even more that the citizens of Little Rock don't get it. One other question, and I'm going to let Robert ask go again. My concern, and we talked about the local media, but you made the excellent point. that KATV is a Sinclair broadcasting system. Okay? It is one of the most conservative media systems in the country. Okay? And the fact that KATV even saw that this was illegal, that speaks volumes, dude. If you, and those of you who don't understand, remember, what's the guy's name that was a Trump supporter that now was with Sinclair Broadcasting, where they have him do a editorial? I can't think, Neil something. Okay? This is when all this broke. So the fact that KATV would even think that this was beyond the pale as it relates to the First Amendment, that speaks volumes. And I've got to ask the question, what the hell is going on downtown?
Well, talking with other news media folks that were there, some of their stations don't want to get involved. They don't want to fight that fight.
You're the media. You exist because of the First Amendment. You don't want to fight for the First Amendment? Come on.
Somebody tried to depose me in Faulkner County to reveal sources. I fought that. And I did not get any support from any news media organization in the state. Had I not successfully defended and won the right to not have to reveal my sources under the Arkansas Constitution and the Arkansas Shield Law, that could have set a precedent that your sources are open game.
Exactly.
I didn't get any help from any of these people. And I was so thankful yesterday that I commented on this, that I was glad that somebody else was taking up this fight for this transparency. And I pointed out, and it's funny that it was the Sinclair station. Because there's only so much I can do. And people like you, Dave, and you, Robert, we are limited in what we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, it's just a sad state of things, of affairs we're in. And this is the deal. You have a newspaper. The newspaper's got paywall. You can't read the newspaper unless you're subscribed. You get 3 views a month, and then you're blocked out. The Arkansas Times has gone to paywall. And, so your main source of news is watching television stations, and they give you 2 minutes or less of a story.
Right.
Or they give you fluff. Oh, the Humane Society is selling dogs.
Through a blog like mine or Matt Campbell's or some of or like the Northeast NEA report out of Jonesboro, because we put the documents in there. We show what it is. You can look at it. So if somebody tries to shade something, whether it's us or the person that's being reported, you can look at that document and you can see it for yourself.
Right.
Hey, Russ, we got to take the top of the hour break. Can you hang? All right. We're going to go out and take the top of the hour break. And again, I want to, I'm not apologizing to my people that are outside of the state, because some of these same things are going on in some of your cities, and you can certainly learn from this.
That's what's up.
But I told you at the beginning of the show that today's show is going to be predominantly about what's going on in Little Rock, because Little Rock is a damn mess. Okay? In fact, the state of Arkansas is a damn mess.
Come on, Dave. Stop.
Okay? I'm just being real. And hopefully you all will start getting involved and support people who are trying to bring you real information.
All right, Dave. Calm down, player. Hey, just want to make one point before we get out of here.
Well, we ain't leaving
The
yet.
only people downtown with guns was the police.
Hello?
And they had shots fired downtown. Again, I'm going to say to you, the only people downtown with guns was the po-po. Oh, I forgot. And the Ku Klux Klan dude from Russellville. So I say to y'all again, the only people downtown with guns, y'all, was the po-po and the Ku Klux Klan.
All right, Ron,
now come on, y'all. Come on now.
And by the way, the highwayman was sitting with the police.
With the Ku Klux Klan was sitting with the po-po.
That just boggles my mind. We'll be back in a moment.
Well.
We'll be back in a moment.
Well.
Wow.
Well.
The law offices of James.
That boggles my mind.
Our clients.
That the police department would allow the Ku Klux Klan to come in and act as though they're buddies.
Yeah, we need to go back with the clean version of Fuck the Police from NWA. We need to find a clean version. Come on, Dave. Find it.
Lord have mercy.
Go back with.
Do not hesitate to contact
Find us a
our
clean
attorney
version we can go
for
back
a
with,
free
man.
attorney
That's
consultation.
what's up.
Call 1-800-848-1290. That's 1-800-848-1290.
Lord have mercy. This city.
Or email inquiries at arkansas-personal-injury.com. Our law offices are centrally located at 212 Center Street in Little Rock. That's the law offices of James F. Swindoll, personal injury and products liability attorney serving Arkansas since 1977.
Mitchell Funeral Home welcomes all of Arkadelphia and Arkansas to connect with a family-owned and operated service provider in Clark County since 1966. At Mitchell Funeral Home, they understand that the funeral is a celebration of life and legacy, so the entire staff takes great pride in the caring, personal, and professional services they provide. Cremations, funeral planning, burial policy, life insurance, notary, and monument sales are just a few of the services they offer. Flexible packages are available as well. Mitchell Funeral Home appreciates the trust and confidence placed in them and will continue to enhance their services so as to serve you better. Call now. Get connected. 870-246-2611. That's 870-246-2611. Call, click, or come by. MitchellFuneralServices.com. Don't wait till we're needed. Call us now. Let's walk through this together. 870-246-2611. It's quality you can appreciate and service you can depend on at Mitchell Funeral Home.
Hi, this is Alvin from Habibi's 4317 East Broadway in North Little Rock. We still have the green top at your very next stop. The same great service, but more of it. Give us a call, 501-663-1553 or 664-2992.
Well, that boggles my mind about the highway now.
I'm not even surprised. I'm not even the least bit surprised.
Oh my God, that boggles my mind.
Not even the least bit surprised, brother. Not even the least bit.
We've seen this generation.
Not even the least bit, Dave. Dave, I'm not surprised at all. I ain't surprised at all. I had no surprise, brother.
And every time you walk on his yard or you even walk by his yard, he's on the porch and he's got that little crooked finger. He's like, get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Join the weekly sports magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on joynetradio.com. Get off my lawn!
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Yeah, I'm sure you do it.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
Right about now, NWA boys in full effect. Judge Dre residing. In the case of NWA versus the police department, the prosecuting attorneys are MC Ren, Ice Cube, and Easy motherfucking E. More.
It's too hot. It was supposed to be too, but anyway. We're back, Black Focus Radio.
Black Focus giving it to you, baby.
I'm going to tell you, folks, that, and by the way, Russ Raycop is on the phone with us as well. The fact that the police department, if nothing else bothered you about this hearing, the fact that the police department allowed KKK members, or whatever they want to call themselves today, I'm going to call them let me just put it this way. This will lump them all into the same boat. The fact that the Little Rock Police Department, that is paid by my black taxpayers' dollars, along with a lot of other black folks in this city, would allow white supremacists to be treated better than the citizens of Little Rock, I got a problem with that.
Not uncommon, brother.
Exactly, but I'm just saying it may not be uncommon, but the fact that the Little Rock Police Department would allow white supremacists to come through the back door, as opposed to saying we don't want that kind in our city, man, I got a problem with that, man.
I think this, for me, I think this speaks more to, for them to support it is not. I'm not surprised by them supporting a white officer shooting a black kid. I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not surprised with that.
Surprised by that. What I am surprised by is that our city, the one that we pay our taxes to, would allow that to happen.
That's my point.
I mean,
that's my point.
How does that happen and the city's not conscious of it? So that would be that's what problematic for me.
I mentioned this to you. We have a black mayor, we have a black city manager, and we have a black police chief, and that's going on under their watch.
But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I always say this, and I'm gonna say it again because I don't think people hear me. That whenever you have blacks in positions of power, it is okay to misuse black folk because they say, we ain't doing that. You got a black man, you got a black city manager, you got a black police chief, you got a black fire chief. But you know what? The bad thing about that is the more blacks you got in positions of power, the more abuse they can dish on black folk, and black folk can't say that they're being racist because, hey, you got these black folks in positions of power, or so they look like they're positions of power.
Well,
to me, if you're the powerful person that you're supposed to be, you should take control of that. And I don't care whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or whatever. You do what's right, and when something's wrong is going on, you stand up for it. And if you don't stand up for it, then you're condoning it.
Yeah, you're supportive.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to reach out to the mayor after this show because I have to believe that he had no idea that was happening.
But what can he do?
He may not be able to.
They threw him under the bus.
Well, I agree. You're right about that. But the fact of the matter is, in fact, I think that was even a further insult to him.
I think his reaction to wanting him fired was the reaction of. I think that would have been the reaction of anyone who heard that another police officer shot an unarmed man. I don't think it really matters.
The circumstances in which it happened.
Exactly. I don't think that was outrageous. Everybody, yeah. So I don't think that's outrageous. I don't even think that's unlawful. I mean, just thinking about what happened, and even after seeing the video, it was obvious that there were some issues there. I mean, again, we've played this a million times, and we've said a million times that this never happens if he pulls up and blocks his car in. We thought, I don't think we get here. We still could end up here. Mm-hmm. But again, if you look at the police's procedure, you block a car in. He didn't block him in.
Right.
And so the argument is he didn't block him in. You don't ram a car. And the argument is right. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the local media suggested that Starks was hurt by Bradley Blackshire's car.
That was going 3 miles an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. When they initially issued the report.
Gravity.
Yeah.
So, but again, look, you all know, Mayor Scott is a friend of mine. I'm a friend of the family. I have to believe.
You got to be neutral, Dave. You can't be having no
I'm being as. That's why
we're activists, Dave.
That's why I'm going to reach out and ask him. Did you know that the local Little Rock Police Department was sitting in concert and allowed white supremacists to come through the back door to attend that hearing?
Should call him up now.
That concerns me. Okay.
They watched what Ian and I and everybody else puts out, and we told them that weeks ago.
Well, and we knew they were coming.
Believe it? Then that's on him. But that information has been out there because in fact, not only the FOP mentioned that, and so did Starks. We have put the word out.
Well, and of course, like I said, when the hearing was first scheduled and the word got out that they were planning to come on this show, I demanded the mayor, the FOP, to issue a statement saying we don't want that kind here in this city. And for you to come on this show, Russ Rakoff, now I'm not mad at you, but I'm just mad right now. I'm an angry black man. For you to come on this show and tell me that the Little Rock Police Department, people that I pay with my tax dollars, allowed white supremacists to attend that hearing and treat them better than Little Rock citizens. Oh my God, you should not. Oh,
but I gotta ask.
I can't get over that.
I have to ask the question, and no one here seems to want to ask. Y'all ready? Can one of y'all answer it?
Oh, God.
If the Ku Klux Klan went in with the police, are you now telling me that the FOP is now the Ku Klux Klan?
Whoa. Hello?
I just want to know, though. I'm asking the question. I don't know. Can somebody tell me? I'm asking the question. Can somebody answer that for me? How many police officers are part of the Ku Klux Klan? I think I'm going to FOI that today.
Well, as a matter of fact, when the mayor was on last month, I asked him, at what point, based on what is going on across this country, where police chiefs across the country are discovering blogs from police officers who are openly racist, at what point do you go back and do reviews of their records?
Well, not just reviews, but I think Josh Hastings is a great example. Josh Hastings, who shot Bobby Moore, said during his interview, I accidentally fell up in a Ku Klux Klan meeting. How you accidentally go to a Klan meeting?
See, what happened was,
I saw the cross burning. I just wanted to know what was
I thought it was a fire. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Officer Zebulon Zeb Tyler, one of the officers that was involved in the Blackshire case. A while back, he posted that Mayor Sonola and Bruce Moore had stolen public funds. He posted that some racist tweets that we've documented and sent to the police and they've done nothing on. That the way to deal with Muslims was genocide. And we talked about that on the show. This officer's still out there wearing a gun, patrolling and controlling the city, and he has stated publicly that the way you deal with Muslims is genocide. What happens when he rolls up on some Muslims?
Yeah.
Well, those are the same type of comments that just had 17 officers in Philadelphia fired. They just had some officers in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, that was fired. So again, the question is, at what point does the city board, the mayor, and the powers that be go back and start scrubbing these? And by the way, now, I posted an article on my wall this morning where now the Philadelphia Police Department, their FOP, is now going in and scrubbing their officers' comments on Facebook, on social media. Okay? So
they couldn't post stuff on Facebook and stuff, but that changed last year after we sued to get information. And so now they can go on there and post, well, they posted before, but it wasn't authorized. And now they post stuff. But it's out there. You can look on their pages and see. Most of them don't even have me blocked. I can see their stuff, but if they block me, I can still see it. But you see the stuff that they post, a lot of questionable stuff. And, but the problem we have is systemic here. Exactly. We don't have a police force that's part of this community.
No.
And for them to say that we have any type of community-oriented police department, that's just pure BS. That's the stinky kind. The kind you can't wash off your body very easily.
That's called skunk funk.
Police officer, if you're not living in the community. If you roll out of here when your shift is over and go to another town in a car that we're paying for the gas for you to drive to and from work, you're a mercenary officer. You have no right to say you're a community-oriented police officer.
Great point. Great point.
Well,
I'm telling you, the things that we're going to have to do, and a lot of people ain't going to like this, we got to start over.
I don't disagree.
We got to start over in Little Rock. We got to get rid of all the police officers on the force that have been documented with issues of untruthfulness. One of the biggest ones is John Gilchrist, and there are others out there. We've got to get rid of the officers that are racist. We have posts that they've made.
Right.
And there are some that have disparaged a good friend of ours, Reverend Benny Johnson. By the way, it's Benny's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Big Ben.
And, there are officers who've disparaged him that are still out there, said things about him. And we're going to have people on the... let's just talk about the Civil Service Commission. The lady that objected to me being in the audience, she's a former police chief of Eureka Springs, and she is an employee of the Arkansas Crime Information Center. Now, do you think she can be unbiased?
I doubt it.
I know she can.
I think that leads to a great point, and I want to segue into this. So we talked to the president of the BPOA yesterday, right? Now,
Rodney?
Yeah, Rodney. Now let me set this all up for everybody who
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So the FOP has essentially said the BPA ain't nothing. They crap. They don't mean nothing.
That's right.
Nobody give a damn about them. They just some black dudes.
They're not involved in the collective bargaining or anything?
Nothing. They just treat them like straight stepchildren, right? But then you have the president of the black union who says, hey, it sounds like he's carrying a water. I'm not sure, Rodney. I know you're listening. I'm not sure if you're carrying a water or not. But damn, it sounds like you're carrying a water. So Rodney says, we don't have an issue with the Citizens Review Board. We have an issue with the language, right? And we want to vet the folks who get on the board. We want to make sure they cop friendly. Now, he didn't say that, but he said that.
Yeah, he said that.
He said that. He didn't say it, but he said it. Now, that's kind of like, go ahead.
I'm going to stop you right there. Now, that's ludicrous. Does the police department get input from criminal suspects on how they're going to conduct investigations?
No.
So why should the citizens have oversight and input and from the people they're going to be looking at?
I totally agree. They want to vet him. They want to vet him, Russ.
Sorry.
Hey, Russ, I asked him, Russ, so the question I posed to him, I said, hey, what if you had Russ Raycop, Ian Bordeaux, and myself on there? He said, guess what he said about that?
What?
He said he would be uncomfortable with us being on the board. Well, he didn't say anything about me. He just ignored me.
With me because I've got all their disciplinary files. I've got copies of all the non-exempt portions of their personnel files. I got their photos. I know where all of them live. I know what kind of cars they drive. All public information.
All public.
So I know they don't want me on anything.
Of course, they don't want me on that. I wouldn't be on there in the first place. And let me tell people why I wouldn't be on there. Let me explain to people why Robert Webb would never accept a commission to the Civil Service Commission. First and foremost, they kicked me off the Housing Authority. The city of Little Rock kicked me off the Housing Authority with a vote of 8-2. The only two black folk that voted for me was Director Irma Hendricks and Director Ken Richardson. Everybody else voted against me. So I would never, ever give them the satisfaction of telling me I can't be on another board or commission. Never. So y'all welcome. I won't come back. But you know what? I might do it just for the hell of it, just to make them kick me off. But this is the thing I think it's important that we have this conversation because we got to have this conversation, y'all. So we now understand that the Ku Klux Klan resides in the Little Rock Police Department and that we are self-funding the Ku Klux Klan. The question I have to ask you, brothers, is what's our next move? Because we can no longer continue to fund the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, I'm going to make some private moves and I'm going to make some public moves. And the point is that we need to make sure we keep what we do in private. But again, I am going to reach out to the mayor. I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to start writing some letters here because, again, if we had enterprising media, just as Russ knows that, Russ is not funded by a major corporation. Right. Russ funds all of this out of his pocket. So the question is, Democrat Gazette, Arkansas Times, I know y'all listen to this show, KTHV, channel 7, 4, and 11. Why aren't y'all asking the question, did in fact the Little Rock Police Department allow highwaymen, white supremacists, to enter this hearing? Although, and by the way, their IDs weren't scanned. Their IDs weren't looked at. No record of them being there. Right, but Little Rock citizens had to have their IDs scanned. If we had enterprising media, then those are the people that ought to be asking this question. So those of you who are listening to my voice, pick up the phone because this is what has to happen here. You know, a group of small people are not going to get a lot done. But if they start hearing from other citizens in Little Rock, call them and ask that question. Did the Little Rock Police Department allow white supremacists to come through the back door?
Not the Little Rock Police Department. The city of Little Rock.
Well, the city of Little Rock allowed white supremacists to come through the back door and sit for Charles Starks. Because to me, that's the only answer that matters at this point. because it goes beyond Bradley Blackshire at this point. Because if that's the case, then we understand now why the Little Rock police are the way they are.
Hold on, player. I think you're missing something. Now let's take a walk back in time. In 2010, Mr. Ellison.
Well, I wasn't here, so.
2010, Mr. Ellison was murdered in his own house by 2 off-duty police officers working at the Chateau de Ville apartment complex. It was December 8th. Mr. Ellison was sitting in his house with his door open, and he ended up dead. They entered his house unlawfully, killed him, and they still work for the Little Rock Police Department. Now, again, come on, man. The 2 officers that killed him, they still work for the Little Rock Police Department.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
they paid the largest settlement ever to the Ellison family too.
And let me say this because I think it's important that people understand. Mr. Ellison had 2 sons. Did I say 2? He had 2 sons that were LRPD. Did I say 2? He had 2 sons that were LRPD. Did anybody hear that? He had 2 sons that were LRPD. And their father,
One still on the force.
One still on the force, one left to go to Texas. But 2 sons who were on the force, he is dead by the very people that his sons work for.
Yep.
Now, again, those 2 officers at one point were working at the training facility when they sent all screw-ups. Now, how do you expect to have a quality police force when you send all the folks who screw up to train them? How do you get a good police force?
You can't.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Well,
it
and
just me.
Dave, I'm going to tell you, these TV stations, and I know Channel 7, because a couple of days before they did stuff, they started following me on Twitter. And, you know, if they're not, if people are coming to folks like me that blog to get stories and ask questions like what's going on, what's happening here, that's threatening to them.
Yeah.
So they have to get involved. It's through the efforts of folks like Matt Campbell, Ian Bordeaux, Robert Webb, Dave Coleman, and myself doing stuff, asking these questions, making people uncomfortable. That if we're making the mainstream, and I'm not saying that Joynet's not mainstream, but you know, the television and the newspapers and things, people think that that they act, and that's what we do as activists. We spur activity on, and but think if we weren't doing that, what would happen?
Think how many people be screwed over? Yeah.
Man, what y'all been doing in Little Rock since I've been gone?
I don't get advertising dollars. I don't get anything for that. But at this point in my life, my mission is to get information out to the public. Information that your government doesn't want you to see most of the time. So you can pull the curtain back and see what's really happening.
Yeah, but Russ, let me stop Russ real quick because I wanna give Russ some props. I know often we don't do what we do for credit, but I think sometimes it just needs to be had. So the brother who lost his job because he also had a comment on his Brandon Burley.
He was a recruit.
Yeah, he lost his job, but thanks to Russ, give us the backdrop, Russ.
Well, what happened was, and this was the case that involved Sergeant Davis. Brandon Gurley was a recruit. He was with that racist Schiffelbein.
Right.
And the other gal that got, Katina, I think she got fired too because of posting they had. And Gurley was the one who spoke up, and he went to his mentor, Sergeant Davis. And everybody knows that story, you know. And so, but what you don't know is they picked on Gurley at the academy because he's a big guy. And they picked on him. They made him carry a big rock painted with the police blue and black line, you know, that thin blue line.
Right.
When he went around, they used him as an example. Like, what happens if a guy like Gurley does this?
Right.
They kind of demonized him there.
Right.
And because he posted out this stuff, they terminated him. Now, we all know the story that Schiffelbein and the other gal, they banded together with Robert Newcomb and they got a settlement. They got $25,000 each.
Right.
And my buddy Brandon was represented by Leonard Proctor and Mike Lowe. And they fought and had issues where they tried to get settlements to get stuff, and the city was jacking them around hard. And and I speak with Brandon a lot. He would ask information, get some guidance. I'd give him some fatherly advice on what I thought he should do, and just to keep the faith that things would work out. So, and they offered him a little small settlement, and he didn't want to take it, and so they kept on, and then they were going to offer him, I think, $18,000, and they were going to write some reference letters, and they reneged on that. So finally, he was able to get a settlement. I think it came out around $20,000, and they modified or altered his personnel record to reflect that he resigned instead of being fired. So now he can get a job in law enforcement, because Memphis was going to hire him, but they did the check, and Little Rock said had been fired, and so he didn't get the job. Didn't get the job, and it was hard for him because he's a father, and he felt that they had impugned his character because they said that he lied, but the way they did it, and if you read these internal investigation reports, you see the way they ask the questions and they do the stuff. If a person misspeaks, then and then they come back, well, you lied. Well, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Because sometimes you say things that weren't in the way you're getting asked. It comes out like that. But he was able to persevere, and like I've done with other folks, I helped provide information to him and some records that they can use, because Mr. Lowe, he's not an Arkansas resident. He can't FOI stuff. He can only get stuff through discovery,
right,
and subpoenas. But we stood by him, and that was it's not a success story for us. It was one for him. And like I think I told Robert this. That is what keeps you going when you do something. Because I know Robert always said he's out of it. He's going to retire.
I'm retired, man.
But when you have somebody like that comes to you and needs help and needs you to stand with them and give them encouragement, and when they're ready to take that little bit of cash they're going to give you so you can live on, is to say, no, man, just hang on. Don't do that. It'll work out. You just have to have faith. And when he called me and told me that had happened, I was just like, man, see, I told you, it all works out. You just have to have faith. And, now he can get a good job and move on up, and he'll be a productive member. And I'll tell you, it's a shame, because he would have been an excellent Little Rock police officer.
That's the same thing they said about the other dude. He'd have been a great cop.
Oh, Schiffelbein?
Yeah, Schiffelbein. He'd have been a great cop.
Yeah, well, you saw the group he belonged to.
Yeah. Ku Klux Klan.
Well, and those other groups that are on the watch list of the Homeland Security.
Oh, that's right, Homeland Security, yeah.
The ones that infiltrate police departments.
Yep. White nationalists, who was the other? The neo-Nazis. Yeah. But see, that's my point, though. That's my point. So,
terrorist groups.
Terrorist groups, yeah.
The legitimate government of the United States.
So that's my point about what we do. I just want people to know that, we don't always talk about what we do. And the reason we don't talk about it is because we don't do it for conversation. We do it because people need help. And there's not a lot of people trying to help folks who are getting screwed over by the city.
I've got a email box and calls like I have to make today to people. I'm helping people in situations like his with different state agencies, city agencies, and other things like that they don't know where to go.
Yeah, they don't have any resources.
And we talked about this, Robert. We've got a friend of mine, Phyllis Harrington, has started a thing called the Arkansas Justice Coalition.
Yeah.
Where we're trying to help people like that. Phyllis is helping some people right now that are been unjustly convicted, and trying to help them. We're digging into records of court, the Supreme Court from the 70s and things like that. But we're trying to move to that where we can help people when they've been turned away everywhere else. What do you do? How do I do this?
How do I help them? Yeah.
And, yeah.
Because unfortunately, the city and state organizations, they're not trying to help people. They're trying to screw people. So we have to help them.
That's right. And if you've got the ability and the knowledge, you can't turn your back on folks like that.
No, you can't.
I'm sorry, I'm quiet because I'm a little ticked off right now. Yeah, and I'm proud of it because, man, I just, every time I think that Little Rock might progress, you and Robert Russ come up with some crap that makes me realize that this city ain't going nowhere.
We ain't do this. This was Charles Starks. This ain't had nothing to do with me and Russ. Me and Russ didn't shoot nobody.
Well, that's true.
Charles Starks started this. No, actually, John Gilchrist started this.
In order for things to get on the right track, we have you know, if you got a house that's got mold in it and stuff like that, you can't let that house stand. You got to take it down and rebuild it.
Yeah.
And see what we've been doing here, and Dave, you're the one who said this one time. It's got to burn down. We got to start over.
Burn it to the ground.
And you know, and again, what I have to tell you, I keep an open mind because I thought that was pretty stern, just like when Judge Griffin was calling them mercenary officers. But that point is right on. We can't try to patch up what we have. We got to tear it all down and start over.
Russ,
we got to clean this. I mean, that's what God did with the flood.
Exactly. Start over, didn't he? Russ, I got a quick question,
Yeah.
Russ. I got a quick question. I've been. People have said that I've lied, and I'm going to ask you. And if I lied, I lied. So, Russ, I was told that the way you become police officer of the week, police officer of the year, that's all based on arrest.
I believe that is factual.
Thank you, sir.
It's arrests you make and the numbers of things you do. I think they have a point system, and I know.
They say it's based on good attendance. They say it's based on a whole bunch of other things and not just arrests. But let's talk about that. To have good attendance, you got to make some arrests because you got to come to work, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So they're trying to say that because Chief Finks was the police officer of the year, and when I said that he won police officer of the year because he arrested a bunch of black folk, and someone said, and I'm not going to say who, but someone told me that he was arresting white people, and he was told to stop that. And so he started arresting black folk. Now, that's what I heard. I don't know that to be true, but I heard that from somebody that said that they heard that. They were part of that conversation. I don't know that to be true. I'm just sharing that. But my point is that people need to understand that people are not giving us the truth when they tell us about these things that they receive. So when you find out somebody tells you they got an award, I think it's important you ask them, what did you do to receive your award? Because you don't become police officer of the week or police officer of the year or month or hour in Little Rock if you ain't arresting folk. And most times you arresting black po folks. Even if they ain't done nothing, you finding a way to arrest them because you need the numbers to make police officer of the week or year or hour or day or whatever the hell it is you're trying to win. So I just wanted to put that out there. Russ, one more question before we get out of here because we got about 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Russ, a couple of things, man. So they had the shooting down there. Did they arrest anybody yesterday, Russ?
No.
Nobody was arrested.
See, I know where you're going with this already,
Hold on, Russ.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. We're not gonna have this on my show. We're not gonna have.
I just want to ask somebody who was there. I just want to ask the question to somebody who was there, man. Hold on, man. So okay, Russ. So they had shots fired downtown. Russ, you've been talking about the shot spotter, correct?
Yeah.
Did the shot spotter go off?
They don't have the shot spotter down there.
They don't have it downtown.
The dickens, you say?
No. So
no, it oddly enough, it's situated south of 630.
South of 630.
East of I-30, west of I-30.
West of I-30.
North of I-30. And
really?
East of University.
So it's only in the hood.
Yeah. It's in a 2.5 square mile area.
Oh.
It's in the area where we have, if you go, the one good thing I'll say about the newspaper today is they have a nice little homicide map that you can go to for 2019, and it shows you where that is, and where there's a little rectangle in Little Rock, and it happens to be that area I just told you that most of the homicides have occurred.
Okay, Russ. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's where ShotSpotter is.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Russ. Okay, so now tell me again, the police officers went in the back door, correct?
Yep.
And the shots were fired by La Harpe, and La Harpe is close to what?
It's the back door down there.
It's close to the back door?
Yeah, but it's close to something else, Russ. I don't know if this is where you're going, but
Well, it's right next to the police department.
but
That's not the point.
that's
No,
that's
not the point.
but that's what it's close to.
not the point.
But I can drive down the Harp and I can see the police station.
Right, you can see the back door from right there. But
Yeah.
the question for Wes is,
Well, it's funny you say beer, Russ, but it makes me thirsty now.
what's problematic for me is I want to make sure that people understand that for shots to be fired yesterday, it couldn't have been by the folks who came to the protest because they were all made to go in the front door. None of them were allowed to go out the back door.
And they were standing at the front door or inside.
Or inside. But the people who were outside who only went out the back door were the Ku Klux Klan and the Ku Klux Klan police, right?
That's it.
But see, what happened was, it was probably one of the protesters who wanted to disrupt the meeting.
That's right.
And they.
So hold on, I got a quick question, Russ. Did this happen before or after Holcomb failed? Oh, so you mean to tell me that they were trying to stop the proceedings before he slipped and fell?
That might be a thought you would have.
I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a black man who lives in Little Rock. Ain't no damn conspiracies in Little Rock. It's all factual.
Well, I know for a fact that videos were released, although this is another city, but in Chicago, they have discovered videos of white males and police officers who would go into the black community and just open up, start shooting
in the air,
and then leave. Now, I'm not saying that would happen in Little Rock.
Right.
But I'm just saying there have been instances of that happening in other cities around the country. I'm just saying.
Russ, I'm really concerned. Oh, I got a text. Somebody asked me earlier, Russ. They want you to put out your Twitter handle. Am I following you on that? I don't even know if I'm following you on Twitter. Yeah.
If it's under your name.
The GOVTNARK.
Okay.
Bad the GOVT is the abbreviation for government in Arkansas. Bad government in Arkansas. BADGOVTINARK.
Okay. I just love this, man. I love this. This is a great time in our city. And I just think there's going to be a lot of positive things that come out of what's going on now. Because, again, I'm going to say this on the air so people can hear that Starks will get his job back.
I agree.
He will get his job back. I don't think the Civil Service Commission will give it to him, but I think he'll get it back when he goes to circuit court. So I just want you to be prepared for that. Do not be upset because we ain't letting this die. We ain't letting it die.
If the mayor and the police chief really want to get something done, they need to work with folks like us.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I talk about them bad. But if they want to make some changes, they need to listen to some of the things they say. I'm going to give an example. Former police chief, Ken Buckner, he's up there in Syracuse, and I follow him. A lot of the stuff that we said they should be doing, he's
up there doing it now, or trying to.
Yeah, I saw a post last week. One meeting he and the mayor was at. Boy, they were catching hell. Them people up there ain't playing. And maybe that's what. And I thought about Little Rock because he was down here in Little Rock talking about black males are the cause of the problem. See, that kind of argument didn't go up in Syracuse, and because the people up there got upset, and they were having some meeting. I think a week or so ago. I saw it may have been longer than that. But they were going to have the people to write down the questions, and then they were going to cherry pick what they were going to read.
Right.
That meeting got so contentious that they had to stop that part, and they just had people coming to the mic at that point. Mm-hmm. And what people here in Little Rock have got to start doing. See, the bottom line is, folks, the only way that your public officials get away with what's going on is you continue to stay quiet. They want to shut Robert up. They don't want this show on. They don't want to see Russ Raycott and all the other people that are doing this activist type work. You have got to start standing up as people. 4 or 5 people trying to lead the march, it ain't gonna work, folks. We have to do this together.
Everybody got a lane.
Exactly.
It's a ton of stuff out there. Everybody find a lane. We don't all do the same thing. Russ is mostly about. He's not mostly about the police, but a majority of the stuff he does works with the police. I mostly talk about the budget. Yeah. So my thing is mostly about the budget, and you got other guys. Benny's and murders. You got everybody. Everybody has a different area that they focus on. So hey, we got plenty of stuff that people can come and get with. So don't get lost. Come out here and help.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Heck of a show,
Let's
guys.
keep
Hey,
it.
Russ, hey, thanks for calling, man. And you keep up the good work
too,
as
man.
well. You keep up the good work as well, man.
And thank you for all the good stuff you do, man.
Yeah. Wow.
All right,
All right,
Russ.
man.
All right,
All
love
right,
you too,
man.
bro. Peace.
Man, this is crazy.
No, it ain't, man.
Dude, this
No,
is-
it ain't, man.
See,
No, it ain't crazy.
but see, you got to understand where I come from. So, see, when I was in Memphis, and although Memphis has its problems, man, when there was an issue in the black community, them black folks got together. Okay?
Black folk here, man, they got these black folk brainwashed.
When I was in Nashville, when there was an issue in Nashville, them black folks got together.
They got these folk brainwashed, man.
You
These folks
see,
ain't gonna fight.
But here in
But
this
let me tell you
city,
something. You cannot fight the man when you work for the man.
but
You can't fight the man when you work for the man.
But see, I disagree with
No, you
that.
can't,
Let me
Daddy.
tell you why.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
disagree with that. You have to, if you work for the man, then you've got to be strategic in your fight.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay?
Man.
So what you have to do is, maybe you can't go to the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can't post on the blogs or in Facebook. But you sure as hell can support the folks that are leading the charge.
Now, okay, Dave, I hear you on that. But let me break this down for you. I want to make it really simple. You ready? So you got the Chamber of Commerce. You get the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Chamber of Commerce is a union that works on behalf of their members.
Mm-hmm.
And their job is to make their members as much money as they possibly can.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, almost every damn body in the city that has a company contributes to the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
The chamber, thereby, owns the city that they get $300,000 a year from.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, right?
Right.
The chamber owns the city. Now, you said, Robert, that's not true. Well, let me tell you why it's true. In a board meeting, the chamber is called the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
In a board meeting, Dean Computers, who's the godfather of the board, Dean Computers is the godfather of the board, at large, position 7, I think. He said, we want to have a regional viewpoint. Not local, regional. Let me say this again. Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce. Come on, man. These black folk, man, you can't fight the folks when you work for the folk. You can't fight them when you work for them. You can't do it. I don't give a damn what you say. Even if you say you want to be strategic, you can't do it. You let black folk get organized in Little Rock. Won't no nigga be working. They all be unemployed.
Well, maybe
I take that back.
maybe that'll help them build their own
I take that back.
communities.
The ones who selling us out, they'll still have jobs. They'll get raises.
Man, this is disturbing. I mean, there's so much stuff that disturbed me about that hearing yesterday. I mean,
Thank you, Herb. Thank you, man. Thank you. I ain't trying to be on fire today with you, man. They got me hot this morning.
oh,
They got me hot today.
see, you just did what they did. Blame the black
Nah,
man.
Dave, you got me hot today. But I'm serious, man. How can you be supportive of a city? How can you continue to give? I'm calling for a strike. I'm calling for an all-out strike of Little Rock. If you can, don't spend money in this place.
Have you talked to the black preachers about that?
No, I'm not gonna talk to black people. Why would I do that? And plus, like I said, Dave, I'm retired, man. I'm no longer doing this.
I'm being facetious.
I'm retired. Once I finish with this thing I'm doing with Marcus and Kerry, I'm done.
You just missed that.
Yeah, I know. I ain't hearing you. I ain't hearing you. I know what you up to. Nah, I'm serious.
Because a lot of them
I'm
work for the city.
Yeah.
You get that right.
But if they don't work for the city, they working for somebody who is owned by the city.
Exactly.
So all you gotta say is
Okay.
Kunta. You want to be Kunta Atoba.
By the way, the owner of this station doesn't work for the city.
My name is Kunta Kinte. Just in case you want to know. Bring
Lord
what you
have
bring
mercy.
for a pork chop, player. Because I ain't scared of you. I live in the hood. I ain't scared. I know when white folk come in the hood, I know what you're coming for. I keeps mine loaded. Did y'all hear what I said? I bought me a bunch of new guns. Because I know what's up. If y'all ever hear I kill myself, it is a lie. I'm never going to kill myself. Because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Black folk kill themselves. Robert Webb was depressed and he blew his brains out. No, it's a lie. Press charges. Find out what happened because I ain't killed myself. Order 6 autopsies.
And I'm not gonna waste myself away. I tried already, and the reason it didn't happen is because somebody told me that I had something more to do for this world. So I'm here, dog.
Yeah, I ain't killing myself, y'all.
I'm here.
They come. I'm letting y'all know. Russell, he ain't killing himself either.
I'm here, dog.
And I ain't gonna have no heart attack. My arteries ain't clogged. I ain't got none of them problems. So if y'all hear something like that,
I don't have high blood pressure.
Y'all know what's up, right?
I took my blood pressure, went to the doctor. In fact, when I went to the doctor last time, they looked at me and said, because I'm kind of healthy, they just assumed I had high blood pressure.
Right on.
You know,
you good to go.
My pressure was 127 over 67.
But I do want to say this when we get out of here, man. I'm like T.I. I'll be a martyr if my great-grandkids benefit. I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
If my grandkids or my great-grandkids, I'll be a martyr. I ain't scared. Now, this is the thing for me. Now, I don't know about you other fake Christians, but you supposed to get all these riches when you go to heaven. I ain't scared about dying. Bring what you bring. Let me get on up out of here. It's supposed to be good when you go to heaven, right? Ain't supposed to be good when you go to heaven.
That's what they say.
I don't know why people still want to be alive. It's supposed to be so good.
Well, but this is just frustrating, man. It just really is. I just, I've been trying to decide, do I want to stay in this city? I've got one more great adventure in my life. Jesus. And I keep wondering, do I need to just go somewhere else? Or do I want to continue to fight this fight? Because, I'm more frustrated with the black folks in this city than the white folks that's trying to keep them down. Because these black folks in this city...
Who you talking about, Dave?
Some of these so-called black leaders. Hey, look, I don't know.
Who you talking about, Dave?
Some of these so-called black preachers.
Some of them.
Some of them. It ain't all of them.
Not all of them.
But you know what really outdone me?
What's that?
And I'm just going to say it. When I really realized that there is a major problem in this city, I already knew it, but what solidified it in my mind was when St. Mark's allowed Asa Hutchinson and Tom Cotton to come over to that black church and offer a prayer on Martin Luther King's birthday.
Well,
that day, let me finish because it got me fired up here. That day told me that these Negroes in this city get what they deserve. And I'm being kind because if I wasn't on this air, I'd be cussing at you right now.
MF word, right? Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But let me say this, Dave. That to me wasn't that bad. Let me tell you what was really bad. Ready for this? Okay, here we go. So St. Mark is about to build a $5 million building because they want to help the kids. Mm-hmm. They want to help the kids.
I know about this.
They want to help the kids. Mm-hmm. It wasn't one black on the stage.
Nope.
But they won't help the kids. Now this is my thing. I always tell y'all this. I ain't saying no new stuff. This is all the stuff I always say. You talking about you want to help the kids. Kids ain't got nothing to eat. You going to put some of their folks to work on that building? You finna spend $5 million.
Hello.
How much of that money coming back in our community? How many people y'all going to put to work?
Hello.
Did y'all even think about putting any of those folks to work?
No.
I ain't heard nothing. Now, they spent $5 million and say, hey, we want to make the neighborhood better. You gonna make the neighborhood better by spending $5 million building a building so kids can come play? They gonna leave your place hungry. They gonna have a place to eat. Their daddies and moms ain't got no job. They might be unemployed. Whatever the case is, have you put that $5 million back in your community? Not only that, you didn't even have one black contractor because you ain't had that on stage. You ain't had that on stage, but you took all your parishioners are black that I didn't seen. I ain't never seen no white folk in there. Well, I take that back. On the election day, they let white folk come in there.
Yeah, and on Martin Luther King Day.
So you let white people come in there. And I ain't knocking you for that. We all got to be cool with white people.
Yeah.
Love me some white people. Right? Okay, here we go. Now, these cats didn't put none of that money back in the community.
Nope.
Now, let me say this to St. Mark. I know y'all listening. We love y'all. Praise the Lord. If you're going to spend money and talk about helping kids, help the whole kid. Help the mom and dad.
Well, let me ask you a question about that, what you're talking
about. Put them to work. Let them clean up. Let them do something.
When they completed the facility, from what I was told, now I had just I'm recent here. What was told to me is that when they completed that facility, that they had said that they were going to use for the kids in the neighborhood. The fact of the matter is that the kids in the neighborhood couldn't go in that facility.
No,
is that correct?
That is correct.
Again,
Well,
therein lies your
you
problem.
have to tell the lie, because if you don't tell the lie, then ain't nobody gonna go, oh my God, they're doing such good work. They're doing good work. Good work, St. Mark. Good work, St. Mark.
Yeah, we
Mark
calling
is
y'all
doing
out.
good. St. Mark is doing good.
Tell your pastor to call the show.
Pastor Pone ain't gonna call that.
But
I'm gonna tell you when I was through with St. Mark though. This is when I was through with them cats. So they was interviewing these pastors, right? They had this one pastor came down, I want to say from Minnesota, right? He came down and was like, hey man, we gotta get up in these politics. We gotta make sure our community better, make sure our folks better. They was like, oh no, we ain't calling that nigga back. We don't want him to come back. Let's get Pointer. Pointer preach a good sermon. He don't want to go outside. He want to stay in the house. He house nigga. He ain't go outside. He house nigga. We don't want that field nigga. That field nigga crazy. That field nigga won't go outside. We don't want that nigga. We can get him up out of here.
I could be really bad.
Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it. But that's
I'm
my point.
I'm not gonna go there
But that's my point.
about that one person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there.
In this city, you got all this stuff going on. You ain't heard one damn pastor.
Was it 20,000 or 25,000?
25,000 what? You ain't heard. Stop, man. You ain't heard one. You ain't heard one black pastor say
I'm just
nothing
saying
about what's going on.
I'm just
You
saying,
ain't
bro.
heard one church. You ain't heard one nobody say nothing about nothing.
But that's the point that I'm making.
But on Sunday, they're going to ask you for the money. They're going to ask you for your money. They're going to say, hey, break bread for God. Break bread for God. But let me tell you something. They ain't trying to work for you. They ain't trying to make sure your conditions, your community know better. They don't give a damn about you. They just give a damn about your check. But y'all go ahead and keep giving them y'all money.
I just want to
keep giving y'all money without asking for something in return.
I just wonder
how
how much of that tithes and offering went to that $25,000.
Man, stop.
I just wonder.
Stop, man.
I just wonder how much of that money went to that.
See, Dave, stop.
You know. No, I'm not. Look, that's the point. Is that I'm tired of these people manipulating our people to do nothing.
But that's what they get paid for, Dave. Dave, black folk.
I'm tired of
black folk. We the most forgiving folk. We the most forgiving. Master Charlie, we gonna forgive Master Charlie. Master Charlie know not what he do.
I'm just tired.
Master Charlie gave me the Bible, told me to pray. Master Charlie kicked me in my butt 3 times. He kicked me square in my ass 3 times. Master Charlie told me to go pray, and I'm going to pray because you know what? I love Master Charlie. Master Charlie got a good heart.
I'm just tired.
He feeds me. He feeds me.
I'm just tired.
I know you're tired, Dave. We all tired.
I
Let me tell you something. I
want my hometown to be great.
Well,
I want to be proud of my hometown.
So who in your hometown can make that happen, Dave? Dave, hold on, Dave. Who in your hometown can make that happen?
I'm gonna ask a question. You know.
Tell me his name, Dave. Is his name Frank Scott Jr.?
No.
It ain't him?
His name.
Is it Bruce Moore?
Listen to me.
It ain't him? Is it Keith Humphrey? It ain't him?
His name is Little Rock Citizens. Okay? You know how I talk about Nashville.
Right, yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. Nashville has a lot of problems too. But you know what? I'm proud of that city because that city is working to try to solve those problems.
But you know why they don't? But you know what? Let me say something. This is very important. You gotta have a black leader who's gonna stand up. And he gonna stand up for what's right. He ain't stand up to get reelected. Because let me tell you something. If I ever get elected, my job is to do the best I can for y'all. That mean I don't get reelected? I don't give a damn. I did what I came in there to do. I did what I came in to do something for y'all. So that's the thing I'm talking about. If you take your job and you trying to keep your job, you ain't doing your damn job. Your job is to try to do something for folks. So hey, I'm done, Dave. I'm done. I can't take no more.
You were really animated.
I need to go get something to eat because I think my blood pressure low. I think my sugar low. Something ain't right.
Because you were really animated.
I ain't been like this in a while. I don't know why I'm so riled up like this. I need to go to church and I need to go to a confession.
Yeah, you maybe need to go to St. Mark.
Yeah, I need to go to St. Mark and confess to Pastor Pointer.
And let him lay hands on you.
Yeah, let him lay hands. Let him write me a check. I'm just trying to. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
We got to go, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out the Weekly Sports Magazine in the morning. Robert will not be on the show tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about him losing his mind.
No.
Okay? But anyway, good show. I appreciate everybody. Thanks again to Russ Raycop, keeping us informed, keeping us in the know. Look, this show is not about making friends. This show is about making changes.
That's what's up.
Okay? So we got to go. Go ahead, Robert. Get you the
Hey,
thing.
I love y'all, man. And thanks for all the love y'all give us during the show. We appreciate it. Hey, spend money in your own community, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Here's my quote for Friday. These following words will either attract a strong mind or offend a weak one. No book written can tell me what God wrote. The human brain is the world's greatest computer because it is self-aware, self-thinking, self-learning, and can even program itself. Why would God implant such abilities in our heads and then give us religions that discourage intelligent, critical thinking in exchange for blind, dumb faith? Booyah.
That was serious.
Have a great day.
That was serious, man.
I'm serious as a heart attack. Y'all have a great day.
Peace.
Good show. This was my dream about black folks.
What you gonna do, man?
Nothing in particular. Waiting on my ride because my car is still in the shop. Well, I got someone coming to get me.
Oh, okay.
You know, so. But yeah, my car, you know, I told you I had an accident, right? Hell, I just pulled out in front of somebody and they clipped the front right.